DISA's requested total operating budget is about $9.4 billion for FY15, and the IT budget request this year is about $4.5 billion, which is about even with last year. You'll see that IT funding is further broken out by DME and SS buckets. When you see SS, that stands for City State, think of OpEx. DME, or Development, Modernization, and Enhancement, that's the same as CapEx. Fortunately for those selling to DISA, the DISA budget is somewhat unscathed by spending cuts and is actually expected to grow over the next couple of years. And a big reason is that 80% of DISA's funding comes from the Defense Working Capital Fund. The way it works is that DISA provides, say, cloud hosting services for the Army, and DISA gets paid a fee for that service. And that's how the Defense Working Capital Fund gets built up. What's happening is that the Air Force and Army, especially, have been moving more of their applications and systems into DISA's data centers, thus more revenues. And this is good news in that more money is available for initiatives like mobility, cloud, and cybersecurity. Now, on all the budget slides, we included icons that map back to our technology categories, and they indicate at a glance where we see the bulk of investments and priorities gravitating.
DISA's role as purveyor of enterprise-wide capabilities will be instrumental in how DoD uses technology to offset any gaps in capability. I'll highlight a few of their main priorities in FY15 that will impact what kinds of hardware and software they buy. DoD is trying to get smarter about how it buys technology. We've been hearing about better buying power for years, and one of the more tangible results to come out of all this is the emergence of joint enterprise licensing agreements. And we'll talk about mobility a little later. In the area of cloud computing, the agency is looking to expand use of its internal cloud service, MilCloud, and exploring ways to work with industry on storing highly classified data in the cloud. While the rest of DoD doesn't have to go through DISA to acquire cloud services, they do have to meet DISA's security standards. The Joint Information Environment is morphing from concept to something tangible, with a variety of initiatives underway that are part of this vision. One example being the Enterprise Operations Centers, which give commanders the ability to see what's happening on the network. Also, projects like the Joint Forces Headquarters, which we'll get to in a minute, and Acropolis, which will look at network traffic data on the DODN, will lead to opportunities in the area of cybersecurity and big data and analytics, respectively.
So in a shocking turn of events, DISA is reorganizing again. This is the most recent organizational structure, one emphasizing a more cybersecurity-oriented posture. This proposed org chart has not been widely disseminated, so many of you are seeing this for the first time. The names are included in the planner. A couple of things here, though. The director of DISA will now be dual-hatted as commander of the new Joint Force Headquarters as well as director of DISA, which we'll talk about in a second. Also, DISA will still play a prominent role as a strategic integrator of the JIE through the Joint Technical Synchronization Office. And it's led by Brigadier General Brian Dravis and provides the engineering and architecture direction for the JIE. Now, this is a good insertion point for cloud, security, and network management vendors because of the broad implications the JIE has in these areas. Mark Orndorff moved from what was the PEO for mission assurance to the CIO and risk management executive billet. Dave Bennett, who oversees DISA's enterprise-level services, such as enterprise email and MilCloud, will likely continue to do so as Director of Implementation and Sustainment. Again, in the planner, you'll find more information on who went where. Now, over the next couple of slides, we thought we'd single out a couple of big initiatives that DISA is heavily involved in, and one of those being the Joint Regional Security Stack, which is a component of the JIE. Nowadays, the bases and forts have their own cybersecurity architectures at the local level. Now that gets handed off to the regional facilities or nodes, making networks more unified and secure, such that capabilities at Fort Hood are exactly the same as at Fort Belvoir. That's the idea. And JRSS is really a good case study of how DoD wants IT to serve as a force enabler. Through consolidation and better network awareness, IT frees up resources for warfighting. And it can also impact how the agencies and services should be organized and work together. One last thing, the next step is JRSS 2.0, which will incorporate the Navy and Marine Corps, although don't expect Marine Corps participation until 2017 at the earliest.
Another big initiative is the Joint Forces Headquarters, which was born out of the realization that since DISA maintains the infrastructure on which all military data traffic moves, it should be able to defend it. The Joint Force Headquarters will serve as the execution command for Cybercom. What this means is if Cybercom sees a vulnerability in DOD's network, the JFHQ will be able to turn off, say, a Porter application, even if it belongs to another DOD component. This gives DISA greater input in cyber defense than before, and DISA leaders have told us to expect RFIs in the next quarter, as the agency seeks to build up this capability. To that end, DOD needs help around identity management and access control from an enterprise level, data analytics, data tagging, and monitoring solutions.
Now, moving on to a couple of DISA programs that speak to DOD's overall focus of using technology as a force multiplier. The Global Command and Control System, or GCCS, is a battle management program providing, through its tools and applications, access to the systems used to manage military operations. Programs like this are at the center of DOD's strategy of using technology to make up for reduced force presence and capabilities, because it gives commanders the streams of data and situational awareness they need to carry out their mission with fewer resources. Northrop Grumman is the prime here, and FY15 work will include migrating to an open architecture, a theme we've seen among many programs for the FY14-15 timeframe, as program managers seek to drive down cost and increase flexibility, in this case, such as making it easier to incorporate ad hoc modules and plugins. FY15 will also see improvements to the information sharing and cybersecurity components of GCCS. Providers of data management, visualization, and mobility solutions will find opportunities here, as the program is also in the beginning stages of overhauling its data management capabilities, again, using technology as a force multiplier.
I promised we'd talk more about mobility, and here we are. Mobility is now a core part of the development plans for most next-generation systems. What this is doing here is establishing the mobility infrastructure for the rest of the services. This is going to be a great opportunity for anyone involved in storage, application development, and application servers. In FY15, DISA is hoping for a four-fold increase in Samsung and Apple-enabled devices within the department. Funds in 2015 will go toward buying 113,000 additional devices, including 21,000 for secret-enabled devices and 4,000 for top secret. In fact, a lot of the opportunities in FY15 will go toward the expansion of the infrastructure, architecture, and gateways needed for secret and top secret devices. Then at the unclassified level, expect to follow on mobile device management, mobile device store RFP that will look to upgrade DOD's mobile device management and application capabilities to help them keep up with commercial technologies made since the original contract was awarded 2 years ago. The point to drive home here is that DOD mobility is here to stay, and it's only going to grow as adoption increases across DOD.